Hi guys, this is Atco. This is going to be part 2 of my Westinghouse 1938 radio repair. Now if you remember where we were after the first video, I had gone through and cleaned it up and took the tubes out and tested them. Out of the 5 tubes, 3 were good, 2 were bad. And I was basically stopped at that point until I could get the tubes and a schematic. Alright, well, it turned out the first few weekends after I did this video, there was a radio club show. I went over there and sure enough, people were swapping things and a lot of tubes, and I was able to find both the tubes I needed for $1 a piece. Okay, so I got those and got home. I'm ready for those. Now I got to start doing about the electronics of it. And I looked inside of the chassis, and as you can see, there are at least a dozen paper capacitors. There's 4 electrolytics as well that I need. So I have to get a schematic in order to see what I need. Now how do I do that? Well, I went and got on Antique Radio website, signed up, and got to the forums, and right away I did a post and asked for does anybody know where I could get a schematic for that Westinghouse 504. And sure enough, I got a response from a guy from Canada who said, I've got one and I'll email it to you. Okay, so it came in and there's the schematic. That's great. So now all I have to do is start taking a look at all of the capacitors on there and start making myself a parts list so that I can get the parts I'll need to replace those. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm not exactly sure, so I just got online and I offered by a few people that well, you can always go to justradios.com. So I did. I got on there, signed up, got the capacitor I needed for my parts list. Those came in a few days after, and I got the film capacitors I needed and as well the electrolytics. Alright, now I'm really getting ready to get this thing going. I decided what to do was to just take those capacitors off one by one. Just cut them out and replace them with one of the new capacitors. Before I know, I had all those old capacitors cut out and I replaced them with all of the newer film capacitors. Alright, now that wasn't too hard to do that. I was a little more concerned with how to get the space I needed for the electrolytics, because if you look at the top of the chassis, there was a black like cylinder in there that was 4 different electrolytics inside that can, and I sure didn't want to buy a can that would have 4 inside, if you could even buy one today. Best way was to just get the new electrolytics, all the single ones for those 4 capacitors. Now where am I going to put them all? Now we'll look at the chassis, where the circle is there. That's where the back side of that can electrolytic. Okay, I was able to move 2 of those with the new capacitors behind where that, right in the back where the can was in that chassis. To find another space, I could also see that there were the wires go to the other side of the chassis as well. So I was able to put the other 2 capacitors on the other end of the chassis. I got my 3rd and my 4th electrolytic in. Okay, so now it's looking pretty good. The power cord was just completely rotted off, so I went to Walmart and just got myself an extension cord and cut the edge off it, stripped the wires at the end, soldered them onto the chassis. I took the hot line to the switch and the neutral line to the ground. Alright, now I'm getting ready to put the new tubes in, but let's clean the contacts a little bit. So I just got some pipe cleaners, put a little alcohol on them, and then ran them through into the contacts of the tube sockets. Okay, and then all I had to do is put all my 5 good tubes into this chassis now. And now I'm basically ready to see what happens. Everything's ready to go. So all I need to do is put some power on, and let's see if this thing works. Alright. Here we go. Looks like the tubes are warming up. No, I don't seem to be picking up hardly anything. I am in the basement, and I'm in a pretty rural area, but I should get something. Well, there's something out of that. At least nothing's burning down. Okay, well, that's it so far. At least nothing shorted during the putting in all this caps, so that's good. And I've never been able to test this thing before because it was in pretty bad shape, so I don't know if it worked at all before. But make one spot here at this point. At least we know all the caps are taken care of, and go from there. So hang in there, guys. I'll see what I can find, and I'll talk to you guys later.